clear out the roads. Let's bring in Fox 6 Milwaukee Chief Meteorologist Tom Wachs, who joins me now. Tom, you guys recorded your Snow
Steve.
is November day in 10 years. What an incredible, and whoa, look at your deck. Tell us when you was outside and also paint the picture for us. You got a new lineup outside.
Yeah, we got a new setup here. Welcome to Milwaukee here, Steve, out on our Fox 6 weather deck, and our friends at Stein's Garden and Home, a store, a company here in Wisconsin, decorating us up. In fact, earlier today, they decked us out, and it is gorgeous. New fire table, beautiful decor here. We are all decked out for the holidays, and Steve, it couldn't come at a better time because we have got the light snow flying out here on the weather deck. And just to kind of review, you showed that video from Milwaukee from this past weekend. That was the previous storm to this, and we got blasted, Steve. There were some areas in southeastern Wisconsin, in the Milwaukee area, that got a foot or more out of this system. And to put this into perspective, a lot of folks might think, oh, it's Milwaukee. You guys get snow all the time, right? Winter in Milwaukee. Well, we don't get snow this big very often. In fact, maybe 2 events or so out of a given winter, we might see over 10 inches in one storm. It's pretty rare to get this level of snow out of one system, especially this early in the season. Now we've got the lighter snow falling tonight, but hey, it adds to the beautiful atmosphere out here on our weather deck.
Yeah, Tom, we look at that event over the weekend. For you officially there in Milwaukee, a top 10 event right outside the top 5 at 6. But I want to ask you about tonight. You were looking at, you said light snow may be possible. What was the difference, right? You were talking with me and Ari beforehand. It was that panhandle hook that set up for the big event. This event, though, it seems like it's kind of almost a glancing blow.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were just talking about Arkansas, right? And places down to our south. Interesting, I think, 2 differences. One, this is not as strong of a system overall as the weekend one was, which was that panhandle hook system. However, still dumping quite a bit of snow down to our south, places like Illinois, parts of Missouri, stretching down into Arkansas, as you showed there. So for us, we're just right on the edge of this system, and it's really a lighter, more fluffier snow. So we're not expecting much out of this, maybe a ½ an inch to an inch, just enough to coat the roads a little bit, but certainly still impactful, especially down to our south. But yeah, this has been quite a snow, even for us. I mean, as a whole, going back to Saturday and now into today, because typically, Steve, we don't get the good snows around here, at least in the last several years, until after Christmas. So very festive now with the snow.
Yeah, a little bonus snow on the menu, a good way to start the tone for December and the holiday stretch. I want to ask you about the rest of the week. We're showing kind of the long-range model, a broad view for the upper Midwest. Come Wednesday, you got this cold front that's swooping through. And with this, potentially the coldest air of this season. I mean, it looks like downright frigid. It looks like it's scary to be outside. At least for me, I'm a Floridian at heart. I want to ask you, though, when you're looking at these air temperatures, is this kind of atypical for this time of year, and how cold is it going to get for you?
Sure, great question. Yes, very much atypical for us. I mean, usually this is January to February type cold, and usually, you know, we'll get a good 2 to 3 weeks of like really frigid air in January and February. But for this to happen in early December, and by the way, we're talking about single-digit low temperatures, maybe even below 0 in spots, and then high temperatures in Milwaukee only in the teens potentially as we go into parts of Thursday. So, I mean, that's going to be brutal. Now, we're going to have a lot of sunshine with high pressure in place, but it's going to be this Arctic cold high pressure. So, yes, unusual and certainly very cold for us for this time of year. We're going to have to be bundled up around here.
Yeah, looking at that here, by Thursday, that looks like the worst of it. Wednesday night and then into Thursday, about 25 to 30 degrees below average. Just shows how cold it's going to get. We look at the December outlook, the La Nina cycle. For you, Tom, does this open up the opportunity for more snow? Can you kind of give us an update for you and your region, what that could mean when we talk about potentially a La Nina winter?
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, Steve, and I think it's going to be an interesting weather pattern because, as you know, things seem to change about every 4 weeks, right, when you're talking about overall weather patterns. And I was just kind of looking into about the middle part, at least, of December, and it looks like next week we fall more into this Clipper system pattern, right, where we get these little ripples coming on through from the northwest with a little snow here, a little snow there, and then it may shift a little bit where we're right on the edge of the warm and cold air where the jet stream is right above us. So as you look at the temperature outlook, it could be a little bit below to right around average, but that's the question, right? When it comes to these sort of seasonal and monthly outlooks is, will these ingredients come together? And I'll give you last weekend as an example, is the cold air was here at the same time as that moisture and that storm system came through, and it tracked just right. So the question will be, does all of this come together? Will cold air be in place when a storm system meets it? If so, we could get a lot of snow. If it's Clipper type systems, which is the Alberta Clipper that we often talk about, originating out of the Alberta province in Canada, that can actually deliver several inches of snow, but they're zippy kind of systems, right, that come on through. So, it's been unusual, Steve, so far, and I think it's going to be interesting in the next couple of weeks to kind of see how the pattern evolves.
Yeah, Tom, earlier in our show, I was teasing that you were going to come up, you're going to do a deep dive, how difficult this event was. It's all about where that wind position was, and you've always told us, gets you a little extra gray hair. I called you a silver fox. I'm looking at you right now. You're an absolute stud. I think I got to change it. I think you're a silver badger. You're in the Badger State.
Oh!
The silver badger is now
I see what you did there, my alma mater. I see what you did, silver badger. What a guy. What a guy.
Hey, thank you, Silver Badger, for joining us tonight here. And I like the patio. I like the setup. This was an incredible Milwaukee Monday, and you made it happen, Tom. Thank you for being with us here on Fox Weather.
Steve, thank you for having me. We'll see you again here soon. Stay warm.
Nice. I will. I'll try to.